Hi guys, it's DJ Random Hajile here, but just call me Brian. So today I just wanted to do a little vlog, nothing to do with gigging. So it's just wanted to have a chat and say hi. Thanks very much for viewing videos. Everything helps. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, I can even earn some money out of it. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. So today what I wanted to talk about is recently I got my CD pool releases through, and I was going to have a nice practice session on my Kontrol S8. You can see sitting sort of there, and just practice like I normally do, DJing and just messing about with the music. Unfortunately, I ran into a bit of a problem. It took me over an hour to import the songs into Traktor. My workflow is I always use mixed in key as well, because I believe that their key detection algorithm is better than Traktor's. So imported it into Traktor. Traktor had to analyze everything. Okay, then I had to close Traktor. Traktor had to say the database. Then I had to open mixed in key. Mixed in key had to analyze everything. Then I had to close mixed in key. I had to open Traktor. I'm getting confused with myself here. I had to open Traktor, and then I had to check consistency of the files, which took a while. And so basically, because of maybe the sheer volume of songs that I've got in my library to choose from, it took over an hour for me to get 30 tracks or 40 tracks into my library, which was quite annoying. So, you know, I was reconsidering my usage of Traktor and looking at the Kontrol S8. It looks like a fantastic controller. It's brilliant. It looks great. It's £1,000 worth of equipment. Marvelous thing. I don't use half of the things that are on there. I certainly don't use stems. It's been going for 2 years and it seems to be going nowhere. When it first got released, I did use it a little bit, but then no major labels or no major artists really released anything in stems format, so I thought that's a waste. So it's got 2 stems ready decks that don't actually get used. The touch bar I thought was a great innovation, but then actually using it in practice is a pain in the butt. I don't use the remix. The hot cues, I can't color code them, so I can't say have green for the beginning of a song where I can drop it in. I haven't got, like, I can't do red for a drop or anything like that. It's either blue or green. Blue for a cue point, green for a loop. I don't use the sampler, you know, so like sequencer to bang out like a drum pad. If I ever do use it, sometimes it's just with a couple of kicks and snares, and you know, I'm not really into finger drumming that much. So yeah, pretty much half of the special features of the Kontrol S8 I don't use. I use it basically as a glorified mixer. That's it. You can see the Newmark NDX-800 that I got there. I got another one this side as well. I use those as MIDI controllers because I like the turntable feel. Then if anything goes wrong, I can always just chuck a CD in those and away we go. So I was looking around, and Pioneer recently released their DDJ-1000. Now when I looked at it, first thing I thought was that's another controller with jog wheels. But I was, because I was thinking about swapping over, I was looking at RekordBox as well. Now RekordBox looks like a nice piece of software. I like the way that, you know, RekordBox and Serato have the waveforms stacked next to each other rather on 2 separate sides of the screen. So if you're, it's nice to have a little bit of extra visualization when you're beat matching. So I find that quite useful. I like the fact that it has elastic beat grids as well. So if the tempo isn't perfectly on time, like an old 70s disco track with a real drummer, you can still get a nice beat grid in there. So your effects and everything will be on point. And the DDJ-1000, for me, what sold it was the mixer in the middle. It's still a 4-channel mixer, but it has hardware effects on it. And, you know, if I was going to do something with one of those CD players back there, if something went completely horribly tits up and I had to pull one of those out and plug it in, you know, I know I can have those effects on another input source. I can just use the tap to get the BPM right, and then use all the beat effects that I want to. It's got 4 different color effects on there. So the S8, all it has is filter. And that's it, high pass, low pass. That's all you can do. So yeah, the mixer on that S8 is passable, but it doesn't have any extra features. Fair enough, the construction of the S8 is fantastic. It's a lovely collaboration of metal and plastic. The screens on there are awesome to look at. But again, I don't use half of the stuff that's on there. And I was looking at the DDJ-1000 and thought to myself, well, the jog wheels, I like the jog wheels. They're full size based on the Nexus 2, the 2000 Nexus 2. Adjustable for the weight and the feel of them. Instead of touch sensitive, it's a pressure sensitive top. The little screens in the middle just looked so tasty. Reminded me of the Denon Prime, which I quite fancy, but I haven't got £5,000 to spend on a Denon Prime setup. So yeah, I was thinking, why not? I'm going to take the plunge and I'm going to switch over from Traktor to RekordBox. So next week, this S8 will be going completely, and I'll be trading it in for a DDJ-1000. I have to pay a little bit of extra money, obviously. So that should arrive next week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And then by the end of next week, I'll pop up a video with my thoughts, the unboxing, and that transition from Traktor to RekordBox. Now, I know there are some programs to make the transition a lot smoother, but thankfully I haven't invested too much into Traktor, apart from mixed in key adding its own cue points. That's it. It doesn't really bother me all that much. I'm going to have a look at see if I can sync the libraries. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be using that MacBook, because that MacBook is a 2013 MacBook Air. I'm not sure whether it can handle RekordBox. It handles Traktor just about, and I've heard that RekordBox can be a bit of a CPU hog, so I don't know whether that's going to be used or whether I'll have to use my Surface Book. But for my Surface Book, that has some issues with power management, so I'm going to have to look into fixing that. I'm also going to need to decorate it, because I can't just have a plain thing. I've got to put some stickers on there, man. What else was there? So yeah, that's going to be coming, and we're going to see how that handles. I'll have to do a few practice sessions, obviously, to make sure that my other laptop can do it, and if I can sync between my desktop computer, which is going to be a lot faster for analysing tracks, and a laptop. Although my Surface Book probably outranks my desktop in terms of power and speed. But, you know. So that's what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. There probably won't be any more gig logs until July time. I've got 4 things booked, 3 in July, 1 in August, for street parties in Brighton, 3 at the University of Brighton and 1 at Brighton and Hove Football Club, or the American Express Stadium, or whatever it's called. So I'll be doing those, and you'll get a gig log there. I'll probably only do 1 of them, because all three of them are going to be exactly the same, and the other one is just the same thing but in another location. I'm hoping by then I'll also have DMX sorted out for my lights, and while I'm trying to get it into my head, I find the best way for me to learn something is to try and teach it. So I'll probably be doing a couple of videos on DMX and hopefully getting my head around that. But yeah, that's everything for now. Oh, the one thing I did notice about RekordBox, doesn't have a MIDI clock or Ableton link. So that's going to be annoying, because I was going to be using a Chauvet Obey control panel for the lighting system, and that has a MIDI in. The S8 there has a MIDI output, so you know I could use the MIDI clock from there to go straight into the Chauvet Obey, and it'll give me a nice tempo. But yeah, I don't think RekordBox are planning to do that anytime soon, because it's been on the request list for 2 years. And they've recently released the RB-DMX1, which is simply a USB to DMX converter that interfaces with their RekordBox software to control lights. So if they were to add MIDI clock to there, then that would be bad, because then you could use it with legacy lighting controllers. You could use it with the Chauvet Obey 70 or whatever, or you could use it with anything else that controls, like a piece of software that takes the MIDI clock and controls the lights through its own open DMX. So yeah, that's kind of annoying, but it's probably going to end up being Pioneer trapping the DJs into their ecosystem. If you're buying into RekordBox, you're probably going to end up getting trapped there. So that's something I've got to watch out for. And if I see that being the case, then I might have to swap out and go for something like Serato. I don't want to go back to Traktor. I really don't. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell icon as well so you get a notification every time I upload a new silly, useless video like this one. And welcome your feedback and suggestions. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Until the next time, to the next video. Catch you later. Bye-bye.